you just enjoying the day? Are you just enjoying the day, love? You mad? You mad, bro? I think it's time for the trough warmers. And I know I said I wasn't going to let it sneak up on me, and then I was going to be ahead of the game this year. Who am I kidding? Like, I'm never ahead of the game. Ever. Aha! Found them, June. Found them. So anybody that's ever had goats, you know goats are nibblers. They'll come up here and they'll realize there's something in their trough, and they will immediately start to test it, to nibble on it, and try to pull it out. And while these specific types of heaters have sensors in them to know when they're not in water and when their temperature is rising too high and to shut off, I just never want it to really gamble when it comes to fires in the wintertime. But that's the whole reason why we're doing this outside too. I used to have my water troughs inside to be heated, and just had a couple scares where finally experience kind of won out, and this is what we do now. So hopefully this will help to melt out the ice that's already in there, because there's just a lot of water in there that's already hard ice. And I will bucket a little bit of water here this afternoon. Once I'm done with work, I'm on my lunch break right now, trying to do some quick farm chores between when I leave for lunch, my desk in the house, to when I come back from lunch, when I go back to my desk in the house. And even though it's supposed to get really warm this weekend, like in the 60s, we're supposed to get really strong storms this weekend. After these storms roll through, we're supposed to dip again. So we're doing the roller coaster this week. We're doing the roller coaster when it comes to temperatures. Just Mother Nature is really throwing some curveballs at us. So I'm trying to get ahead of the curve, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my water trough heaters in today, so that when it's storming and we've got really high winds, I'm not out here trying to get water trough in before it dips the next morning. So this could be really interesting. I know, it's a little tough to reach it in it, girls. Don't worry, I'll be getting more. I'll be getting more. I'll get more, Mo. It'll be okay. So I guess now all I have left to do is to do the same thing for the buck water. And for an update for you guys, Flu is being much more respectful. I appreciate that he was so responsive, because I was really worried I was going to have to deal with a not so nice buck for a while. He still is acting ready, but I still have girls like Rapunzel over here that's in heat. So he'll be a little bit of a butthead, not thinking with the right brain for a while. You gonna be good today? You gonna be good today? I just need to get something put in your water. There we go. I'm actually gonna kind of work it down here where it's just naturally split, just kind of to help it stay in there. Like, oh, where'd this come from? Is this your? Can you tell me something? It's not worth it, buddy. Don't do it. Okay, bud. This is you guys can tell he's pretty randy. Just that nose in heat, he can smell it. All right, guys. There's that. Can you move? Thank you. Let's move close. Notice he is giving me my own personal space. He is not even trying to come close, which is good. He must remember last week, because he's staying way far away from me when I come in the pit, which just goes to show that was actually a good way to react, because he understood it. So he's giving me my space. He's not over here trying to bother me. So, now actually with that there, I can just, thankfully this is just enough water. It's not too terrible to walk. Check out my work. Please don't do that to the cord, okay? Please don't do that to the cord. Thank you for being a good boy and respecting my space. A good boy. That makes you a good boy. I know, Mama loves your good boys. Let me make sure that got this cord just back in the back where they can't really get to it. They don't want to mess with it. Because these guys are inquisitive, probably more so than the does, just because they're naughty fellows. See, look, like father, like son. Won't be long before we have to check him again for urine skull, just to make sure he's still healing up well. So we got that done. We've got both of our trough heaters in for the does and in for the bucks, which is nice because those are just sometimes those chores you don't really think about until winter's here. It's already cold. You're already busting ice. It's already unpleasant to be outside for long periods of time. And you guys are going to have to forgive me today because I'm just kind of feeling a little under the weather. Nothing crazy or anything, just feeling worn out. It's normal this time of year. We're starting to wrap up breeding season. We actually bred our last doe, our last adult doe last night. So I talked about Rapunzel being over there making Flew a little bothered, but this is why he's so bothered. My last adult doe is in heat. She's like in a flagging heat. She hasn't been in it all day. I'm sorry for like the jostling. Man, you can tell that she was in heat because these boys, oh, these boys, they stank. Rapunzel, come here, Rapunzel. Come here, lovey. Come here, lovey. Come in for the loves. Come out for the loves. Oh boy, you're ready. She's ready. Yeah, she's ready. Are you ready? I gotta grab your fella. Oh, showing him who's boss still, huh? I am so happy. The reason I'm so happy is this is my last adult doe that's going into heat and is being serviced. Boy, the buck's just about tore my hand getting out that door. So I'm really glad. Oh, poor Flew is like, just cannot handle not being part of the action. But she's my last adult doe, and honestly, she's the last one that I wanted Willie to service. And I didn't really want to take a pretty active breeding buck who has grown as good as he has. He's been fabulous, mostly because he's out of Willow. So he has like those genetics. And I'm really excited to see this pairing. And like the June, get up there. And the lady being a little assertive like this is just kind of one of those making sure that you're a good mate for me, that you're tough, that you can take it. And just like that, they're done. I do what they call hand breeding. It doesn't involve my hands. It involves me pulling the doe that is in heat out of her pen, pulling the buck that I want to breed her with out of his pen, and letting them have a few minutes together to get it done a couple of times, and then I separate them. This is actually going to help me with my due dates. I will know the exact date as to when the doe is covered, which means I should have a pretty good knowledge of her exact due date, or pretty close, because we all know animals are like us. They don't always give birth on their due date, but it'll at least give me a really zeroed in date so that I can make sure that I know when that doe is going to be kidding. So that if she needs assistance, I'm there, but if she can kid unassisted, even better. I have been patiently waiting for Rapunzel to come back into heat too. She experienced one of these heats where she had a really strong heat, and then like a week later, she seemed like she went into heat again. So technically, I've been watching the calendar, and she should have gone into heat last week, but now she's in heat this week. So I'm guessing sometimes they go through those hormonal changes, and she cycled a good cycle and then cycled again for some reason a week later, and her cycle's gone off that latter cycling. Well, you guys are eating next to one another. Have you forgiven him, Flew? You can't hold him against it, you know. That's a chip off the old block. He's still a little mad. Yeah, you must have been mad. Look, you've broken your screw a little bit. Were you mad at him for doing the honors? Yeah, I know. So the last adult doe is done. She's in the books unless she cycles again. And I've been watching everybody to cycle a second time to see if they didn't catch and settle. And when I say catch and settle for all my non-goat people out there, it means that they were bred and they haven't cycled again, which is kind of implies that they settled on their first go around with the buck and they're officially bred, and we can expect babies from them in 145 to 150 days. So we start our kidding season in March, late March. So I'm counting down the days to warm spring days. So in closing today, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We've got lots going on the farm, and it's just as busy on the farm in the wintertime. But until next time, guys, I hope that you're all staying safe out there and being kind to one another. We'll catch you in the next one, y'all. God bless.